Network latency is sitting at 2 milliseconds. The haptic feedback feels perfectly normal.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking a massive leap, straight from science fiction into actual medical reality. We're going to unpack a fascinating new scoping review all about remote robotic surgery. So, let me ask you this. What happens if your surgeon's Wi-Fi lags? You know, a buffering movie on your couch is annoying, right? But a buffering robotic scalpel inside a human body? That is literally life or death. And despite those incredibly high stakes, this is already happening. Here's our first really intriguing fact for you. 5,031. That is the distance in kilometers of a recent, totally successful 5G robotic surgery. And get this, it was completed with zero network disruption. Sci-fi surgery is here, moving from science fiction to clinical reality. As you'll see, humans are already undergoing remote nephrectomies, urological, and hepatobiliary surgeries, even across hundreds or, as we just saw, thousands of kilometers. When latency is highly controlled, it's producing incredibly promising outcomes. Now, you might be wondering, why even take the risk? Well, it's about redistributing specialist expertise. It's a way to bridge massive healthcare disparities and bring world-class specialists to remote patients who desperately need them, regardless of where they happen to live.
The ultimate internet connection. We're talking gaming lag versus surgical stakes.
The standard internet you and I use every day tolerates minor packet loss. It buffers. But what we call the tactile internet, the connection designed specifically for telesurgery, that requires 99.9999% reliability. It needs sub-200 millisecond latency, because in this scenario, a lag actually physically alters the surgical outcome. Which brings us to our second really intriguing fact. A drop to just 3 megabits per second bandwidth doesn't just mean the video gets a little grainy. The degraded visual feedback actually causes physical fatigue and real exhaustion in the operating surgeon. It literally tires them out. So to prevent that kind of danger, they build in intense clinical guardrails. In one study, a primary connection failed 175 times. But because redundant switching protocols activated absolutely seamlessly, the surgery just continued without any disruption. Talk about a backup plan. Operating without feeling touch, the profound sensory deficit of being miles away. 400 milliseconds. Research shows that right at this level of latency, a surgeon's performance heavily degrades. Think about it. When you can't feel the real-time resistance of a blood vessel, a half-second delay is absolutely critical. And hey, it's not just about physical touch either. Nonverbal cues make up as much as 66% of interactions among an operating room team. So being physically isolated miles and miles away, it causes a massive, disorienting sensory deficit for the doctor. But engineers are fighting back. They're bringing touch back, using magnetic haptic interfaces, wearable pressure sensors, and even AI predictive models that can actually anticipate a surgeon's movements to compensate for network delay before it even happens. It's wild stuff. Hidden VR privacy risks. The unexpected threat inside the surgical headset. Okay, here is our third, honestly, mind-blowing fact. The behavioral data generated while a surgeon is using a VR robotic system can actually identify exactly who is operating it, with 97% accuracy. Basically, your kinetic hand movements act like a totally unique digital fingerprint. This immersive VR data can accurately infer your age, your gender, and your identity. This means our standard everyday medical privacy laws, they're just not enough anymore. Because of this, cybersecurity experts are having to build entirely new defenses to secure the virtual OR. We're talking specific tactile internet authentication, blockchain security, and digital twin fallback architectures just to protect against haptic hacking. Designing for safety first, moving from experimental success to a clinical standard. For this to actually become a standard in clinics everywhere, we have some serious action needed. We need multi-center trials, universal network benchmarks for latency, and heavily standardized haptic data. The core takeaway here is that telesurgery isn't just one tool, it is an entire ecosystem. We absolutely have the technology to make it feasible today, but we need robust clinical, network, and robotic infrastructure to make it truly foolproof. So, we know telesurgery is technically feasible right now, but the real question is, Is your local internet connection ready to save your life? If you want to dive deeper into this wild tech, be sure to check out the full Samsara scoping review to explore the entire evidence map. Thanks for hanging out and learning with us today.